fun. I'm just having the best time meeting with other content creators in the space. And I'm really just truly thankful that you guys are giving me your time and energy, because I know it takes a lot of time for you guys to, make the effort to come on here and spend an hour with me. So I really appreciate your time. Because I know the time commitment of content creation, as well as also like all your other jobs and things like that. So, but thank you for being here. Do you want to talk
Of
a little bit
course.
about yourself and your channel for those who don't happen to know already who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Justina. I am a New York City based personal trainer and YouTuber, I guess we could call it. And a lot of my content is really just free information, not only really explaining the basics of strength and conditioning, nutrition, but also how to implement those things. And we also do some reaction content in there too, because everyone loves the tea. So you get a little bit of everything, some education and some entertainment.
Love it, love it. And I just appreciate the thoughtfulness of your content. I've been having fun watching your Vlogmas, and all your like reactions, and I'm like, I wonder what she thinks about X, Y, and Z. And so like I was having a thought when I was watching earlier. I was like, I wonder what she thinks of the like peach gains, grow your glutes, not your quads thing. Because you were talking about quads in today's video, and I'm like,
Yeah.
because I did that program and I reviewed it like early on in my channel, like a couple of years ago. And like, but now as I reflect back on it, I've kind of changed a lot as I've evolved as a content creator over the last like year and a half, 2 years. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this anymore. You know what I mean?
I don't even understand the aesthetic of it, of like, why do you want to look like you're wearing a diaper on like string
Right.
bean legs? Like, I don't get it.
I
I
don't
mean,
get it.
each their own, but then like
Right.
functionally, I'm like, okay, you want to blow out
Mm,
your knee because you don't have any
right.
quads, go for it.
Right. By all means, you do
Yeah.
that. So talk to me a little bit about your evolution of being on YouTube, how you got started and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I started my channel in 2018, so about 2 years before COVID, and fun fact, actually went to school for musical theater, did about 10 years of performing regionally in tours, and that's one of the reasons why I moved to New York. And
Mm.
eventually, like 10 years in, I was just kind of like done with the ups and downs of it. It's really difficult to be in a career path that you nothing's really linear, and a lot of it is like so subjective. So as a side hustle, I was working as a group fitness instructor in a few different studios and really just saw a lot of growth there in terms of like, career path. And I was like, oh, if I do well, I get rewarded with more
Mm.
jobs and more money and more pay. That's not what I'm necessarily getting in theater. So I
Mm.
ended up transitioning out of theater, but I really wanted to hold on to something creative. So I started a YouTube page and I was making content about literally everything and anything, cleaning and wedding planning and fitness too. And the fitness content was performing the best. So I was like,
Mm.
let's lean into that. Things didn't, I think I maybe had 1,000 subscribers when COVID hit. Like it was a small
Mm.
channel. And I just got really lucky that, obviously COVID was a terrible time, but everyone was forced online and I already had a camera. I already knew how to edit. I already knew how to speak to a camera, which is a whole different skill set in itself. So I really just kind of had a leg up on like content creation in long form
Mm.
content on YouTube. And things just kind of, spiraled from there. And now we're making 2 videos a week.
Yeah. It is pretty crazy. So I started back in 2014. I had to think about that. Back in 2014. Those
Yeah.
those videos have all been privated now. I made a decision a couple of weeks ago to go ahead and just like private them because I don't want to make makeup content anymore is really what it kind of boiled down to. But like I reflect back on those videos and I'm like, these are so bad. It's no wonder nobody watched them
Oh,
because
yeah.
they're not good. Like why? So, but after I have like so I'm not a personal trainer, although after doing all of this, I think I want to be. But I made a very big mistake. I signed up for the NASM like email list before I watched your
Mhm.
video, and they have called me 4 times and
Oh,
sent
yeah,
me
they'll do that.
numerous emails, and I'm like, oh gracious, what have I done?
Yeah. And look, they're like, it's a great intro cert. I don't regret going that route by any means. And I
Mm,
learned exactly what I needed to, but they're definitely like, they'll call you and they'll be like,
yeah,
hey, why haven't you purchased our cert
yeah.
yet?
I'm like, okay, bro, like I'm a little busy right now. Like it's the holidays. I got a
Yeah.
5-year old. Like I'm busy. The
Yeah.
mental load, I can't right now. but
They're a little aggressive, but
a little,
not
yes, a
their
little.
intro stuff is not bad by any means. So
Yeah. But I definitely think I do. And I was talking to Devin about this. I see John. Hey Devin, how's it going? Um, but I was talking to Devin about the fact that I'd like to maybe like do like a class at my church. But part of like doing that is I want to make sure that I'm like responsibly like helping people. So I think it might be a good idea to get like some sort of like cert of some kind. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
read a ton and I learn a lot, but I'm not actually a certified coach. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah,
really from my own personal experience. And then I go and I read the research because that's the therapist in me of like, let me go look at some papers and some documentation and like, you know, but because I find it interesting. So that's kind of how
yeah,
I ended up here with, even though I'm not a trainer, I think I want to be. So
yeah.
I guess we'll just see what happens. But so talk a little bit about, if you will, like your personal training experiences, because I know you said you've been working in New York City. This was pre-pandemic. So did you just completely pivot to online when you like during the pandemic?
Um, yeah, it's been a slow transition, and I still do both in person and online.
Mm,
So definitely more of a hybrid. So pre-pandemic, it was all one-on-one or group fitness type of setting in person, running between like all 5 boroughs at some point during the week. And yeah, during COVID, obviously, like everything transitioned online. I did a lot of Zoom personal training, so like one-on-one stuff there. Wasn't really in the world of like writing programming for people quite yet, like to do on their own. I had like
sure.
2 people I did that for, I think. And then honestly, now it's become this wonderful mix of a little bit of everything, which really helps me in like keeping my days exciting. And it also gives me a lot of touch points in terms of what people actually need and are looking for. So, like, I have my one on one clients. Some of them I meet in person in New York, some of them are virtual on Zoom. It's two very different approaches working with people in those different settings. Like, even down to figuring out camera angles, or meeting people where they're at in terms of how they're feeling that day, and figuring out when you're not physically in a room with somebody, like, what is the intensity that they're feeling, how do I
Yeah.
manage or gauge their RPE based on, can we have a conversation, trying to listen for their breath, all of these different things. And then
Mhm.
in the last year, I have added on a service where now I'm just writing remote programming for people. I'm really glad that I waited so long to really add that in as like a major offering, because I think nowadays with the online space, it's very tempting to go right into that route. I think you're losing out on all of the things you learn from working with people one on one, in person and or on Zoom. Um,
Mhm.
because anyone can write a program for
Sure,
people,
yeah.
but how do you get people to stay consistent? How do you scale people appropriately for their needs? How do you figure out entry points that keep them consistent and having fun while not ignoring, the value of progressive overload? So that's kind of how I've scaled things
Mhm.
over the past, I guess, 5, 6 years now. And I would definitely, like, my number one thing with every trainer is like, work in person with people. Do not skip that
Mhm.
step, because you're
Yeah.
missing out on so much great opportunity to grow and learn as a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that makes total sense. And that's actually honestly been my hesitation, like in all of this, as somebody coming in, not with the background, from like a liability standpoint, because like that's just part of who I am as a person. Like I worry about stuff like that. And some people are completely unbothered, but I'm like, I don't want to get sued. Like I like my
Yeah.
license. I'd like to keep it. Like I busted my butt for it. I'd like to keep it. So, but also just because I feel like it just hits different when it's not you. And in the same way of like, the way that we are trained as licensed therapists, right? Like it's not the same to role play in a classroom with another therapist as it is to be in the room with a human being who has different life experience than you and different barriers to success. And like there's just so much nuance in it that I think people forget when they're like, and I don't necessarily think everybody needs like an individualized program. I think there's a
No.
lot of like nonsense about like, oh, if you're petite, you need to do this thing. And if you're this, you need to do that. Yeah, I know how you feel about that. I watched your video. Like I think there's because I think you're also petite too. Did you not say you're also
Oh yeah, I'm,
like
I'm 5'1". I'm very short.
okay, so we're literally like practically the same height. I don't make 5 feet.
Great.
Um, are we the same person? Just you. Um, so, but like there are some nuances because like from a calorie deficit standpoint, we're just smaller people, but that doesn't mean we need to train completely differently. Like I just
Yes.
I can't wrap my brain around the idea of like why people think that's a thing. But I think but when I look at the landscape and I remember how confused I used to be, then I remember being like, oh yeah, when there's so much out there, you're like, well, what is all of this? And it's
Yeah.
like, it's very difficult to discern. You're like, oh, well, maybe I'm getting it wrong because I am petite and I'm not training like a petite. So maybe that's the problem, right?
Yep.
When more often than not, it's a fundamental training issue more so than a height issue.
Yes.
But all right, what else did I have on my questions here? I've kind of forgotten. Let's see. Okay, so your best advice for people who are just getting started on a fitness journey.
Okay, that's actually a nice jumping off point from the petite fitness and like people don't know what to do and where to start and whatever. Honestly, the best thing that I recommend to people is finding a enjoyable, sustainable entry point. So the enjoyable part comes down to the fact that if you don't enjoy something, especially when you're trying to create a new habit or a new routine, the chances of you sticking to it are very, very small. And then the sustainable aspect of it comes down to how many workouts are you trying to hit? How often are you trying to go to the gym? How long are these workouts? You see, and a lot of this is perpetuated with the way that a lot of the industry and fitness markets to people. It's this all or nothing mindset of like, you need to do 6 hour-and-a-half workouts a week where you're hobbling out of the gym or else you won't see results. And it's like, that's absolutely just not true, first of all. And it's not a sustainable entry point for people. So honestly, that is the best advice I can give to people. If you're not doing anything right now, start with one thing a week that you can enjoy. And that you can sustain. And if you can do that for an entire month, amazing. Reassess. Can you add in a second workout? If you have specific goals, can we now maybe get a little bit more strategic with what this workout actually is? But I think finding that entry point is key because that is the thing that's actually going to let you layer on top and get this like kind of snowball effect rolling to keep things sustainable and like lifelong, because that's the goal. We want to build lifelong habits that don't feel like you're killing yourself every time you get into your workout.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think speaking from personal experience and also just what I know about like mindset and habit building and all of those things is like, I think that's the thing that really was the trigger point for me, coming back postpartum is I started with like dance workouts on YouTube because I was accustomed to doing Zumba in person,
Yeah.
which I loved and still love. And it's like, it's a very small piece of my puzzle now that I still enjoy, but that's what I started with. And like, I was doing that like the 5, 6 days a week. And so that was like my time. And once the time was carved out and I was showing up consistently, then I could be like, okay, hey, well, how do I do something differently? Maybe that I don't enjoy as much
Mm-hmm.
in that window of time, but that might get me somewhere else I'd rather be from like a goal setting standpoint. And then I think that along the way, somewhere I found Caroline Gervan on YouTube. And so she is, as you've probably figured out if you looked at any of my content, kind of the tipping point for how I got started with strength training. And I still do very much love her. Although I got a comment saying somebody thinks she's AI, and I'm like, what? I have so many questions.
I not gonna lie, I could see it. Like she is very like. Well, I know she talks in the beginning of her videos, but like the whole workout is just like no speaking. She looks
Right.
very put together. Everything's like
Yeah.
very perfect. So I do see it, but I know she's not AI
Right.
generated.
I'm like,
I know she's a real
well,
person.
but like even just thinking about like when she started, I'm like AI wasn't that good then. Like if it was, like
No.
somebody was like really holding back some stuff from us because like that. I mean, if it's AI, it's very impressive. AI. They got me fooled, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I just can't wrap my brain around that one. But anyway, but somebody commented on my video the other day and was like, "Yeah, my husband thinks she's AI," and I'm like, "What? Really? Okay." To each their own, I suppose. Devin, are you
Yeah.
also AI? Just wondering. Just wondering, because you seem to have it pretty put together. Just asking for a friend. Um, so if you could only do one kind of workout for the rest of your life, what would you choose?
Okay. I'm going to have to explain this because I know
All
it's
right.
just a tool, but
Yes.
I would choose kettlebell workouts.
Oh,
And I know
interesting.
like
Okay.
a kettlebell is just a tool. You can use it literally in any way. And
Mhm.
I think that that's something that people misunderstand. But specifically, what I'm thinking of is like kettlebell skill work. So
Okay.
things like swings, cleans, snatches, all of that type of stuff. Um, while it is just a tool, it's a lot more versatile for power work,
Mm.
simply because of the shape of it compared to a dumbbell. So I would choose that because I'm going to be able to hit a lot more movement qualities than say with just a dumbbell, or just with doing cardio, or whatever other type of workouts we're thinking of. So like
Mm.
with a kettlebell, we can work on explosive power development. So we have our power and athleticism checked off the box. You can also do strength work with kettlebells. So we have our strength work checked off the box. You can also take a kettlebell, swing it for as many reps as you can in a minute. You got your endurance work in there. I've also literally never met someone who's great with a kettlebell who has shitty mobility. And a big reason, we can curse on here, right?
I mean, it's fine.
Okay, great, perfect. So honestly, a lot of what the kettlebell unlocks in our body is that like inhibition when you're starting to absorb force. So if we're thinking about when we're hiking the bell between the legs, specifically for something like a swing, it's really similar to a lot of plyometric training where we're really trying to sink deep into our range of motion and joints and release that inhibition factor of our nervous system, like stopping and holding us. So I think the kettlebell is the most versatile tool to be able to hit as many of those big movement qualities as possible. So that's what I would choose.
Interesting. It's funny because I don't play with I don't play with kettlebells a lot.
Yeah,
Like I'm
it's
primarily
play. It's
like
playtime. Yeah.
a dumbbell girl. So I have a kettlebell. I actually have the same kettlebell that I saw in one of your videos, the
Oh,
Bowflex that like does the
yeah.
adjustable. But like I don't know. I don't use it very often. My sister-in-law loves kettlebells, but I don't know. I've just never
Well,
just
the
never
tricky thing is because especially with a lot of that skill work, like there is a barrier to entry because it's very technique driven. So it
Mhm.
takes a lot, like it just takes a lot of reps to like get the technique right in your body, but the payoff is
Mm.
great, especially, I mean, if like you like dance workouts, you like learning choreography, you like moving your body in those weight transitions in space, I think you would really enjoy it. There's a big like dancer to kettlebell work pipeline that I've seen. So as a fellow dancer or someone who enjoys movement and choreography like that, I think you'd enjoy
Mhm.
it.
Too funny. Um just I'm losing my mind now. Devin asked, "What is Belfast?" Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just at Belfast. So Belfast is a big kettlebell convention, basically.
Oh, okay.
So they have an event twice a year. So there was one in Nashville that I just coached at recently, and then I attended the one in Denver back in April. Highly recommend if you're a kettlebell enthusiast. You get to learn, like I do primarily hard style kettlebells, which is very like sagittal plane, explosive movement. You get to learn from so many different people. It's awesome. I highly recommend. There's kettlebell flow, there's kettlebell yoga, there's kettlebell sport, there's kettlebell juggling. Like it's a crazy event, and the community is so kind and welcoming and awesome. Highly recommend. And they are doing, Belfast is starting to do some pop-ups in some major cities in the upcoming year. Also maybe in New York, hint hint. Can't say anything quite yet, but just some big cities across the country are going to have some Belfast events for my kettlebell enthusiasts.
Fun.
Yeah.
I won't lie. When you said Belfast, I thought you were saying Belfast, as in
Yep.
like the place.
Yep.
So I didn't really think twice about it. So I'm glad Devin gave me some clarity because oh, geez. Oh, man.
No, you're
I'm
good.
losing it.
Common misconception.
But I just sort of assumed, well, because my husband's trainer is from Northern Ireland, and they actually had a Belfast event. So I guess
Yeah.
like my brain just went like, oh, well, Ben went to Belfast, so she must have gone to Belfast, which that's quite a commute for her. But like, hey, I love that for her. It's quite the commute, but
Yeah.
Um, all right. So which workouts do you think are the most effective for women over 30 and why?
Oh, you're going to get a crazy answer
I know.
here.
I know. I know
Okay.
the answers to all of my questions before I ask them.
Okay. I think, and this isn't necessarily a real question, but I think like the first thing that I would come back with is what is effective? Define effective.
Yeah.
Because I find a lot of times in the women's fitness industry, results or effective, or it works, all people are saying there is weight loss. Like most of the time, things are marketed in fitness to women as a weight loss tool. Weight loss is a fantastic goal. But luckily, there's also 1,000 other goals that women can train for, not just weight loss. So that would be the first thing. If we're really thinking about this demographic of women over 30, strength training. Strength training is the number one thing that women of all ages, but especially as we're hitting 30s plus, should be doing. The reason for that is because women are 4 times more likely than men to have some sort of loss of bone density that is very severe and or muscle mass. So osteoporosis, sarcopenia, low muscle mass and low bone density are very common in women, specifically because most women are going to go through menopause. One of the hormones that you lose very drastically all of a sudden is estrogen, and that's going to be a huge part of maintaining those things. So we want to build up as much bone density and muscle mass as we possibly can when we're young, because we do start losing it at 30. So the reason we want those things is because it's going to help us maintain our independence. If you fall at 55 and you break a hip, what are you going to do? Like, who's going to take care of you? Do you want to be taken care of like that? So I am a really big proponent. Obviously, I love strength training and I find joy in it. I work with a lot of people who don't. So part of my job as a coach, how do we find, just like we talked about before, how do we find that entry point? How do we find other pieces of movement that you enjoy? What are the things you enjoy about that? How can I bring that into your strength training? So that is the number one thing I recommend for women over 30. And it has absolutely nothing to do with aesthetics. But if you have aesthetic goals, luckily strength training is one of the best ways to change your body composition, what you look like too.
Yeah. It's a win-win, right?
Yeah.
And this was something that I was talking to Millionaire Hoy about a couple of months back in our live chat, is basically talking about like clean fuel versus dirty fuel. Like, and basically he was making the sort of notion that like some people will start, with that like dirty fuel of like feeling bad about themselves, or, not that wanting to lose weight is bad, but like with strictly like aesthetic speaking goals in mind. And then they realize like there's like and I don't even fully know what it is, having like transitioned it myself. I don't even fully know what it is, but there's something like, there's this mental hurdle that happens where you go from, I have aesthetic goals, to like, wait a minute, this is way bigger than that.
Yeah.
And I don't really quite fully know when or how that happens. Haven't thought all the way through that. But there's something that shifts and you go, wait a minute, like that's cool, but it's way bigger than that. And like, I think once you get to that place, then it kind of opens your eyes to like, oh, wait a minute, like this is why we do what we do. Like this feels good, as opposed to like this burns calories.
Yeah.
And it changes the mindset completely.
100%. And everyone's different with when that transition happens, what that transition looks like, even if they get to that transition. Because, people accuse me of like being anti-aesthetic goals. No, I'm not. I love having my back look cut, having my arms look cut. Like, I want to look a certain way, but there's also other things that get me excited about my lifts and my workouts. I love learning new skills. I love throwing around kettlebells. I love the fact that I go to the gym at 2 p.m. when it's all of the old retired people, and I have my little old people friends on the machines, and I say hi to all of them. Like, and that's part of what is so fun for me about being a coach. It's not just the programming, it's not just the lifting, it's figuring out each individual person. What's that transition point for them? How do I help those people from a psychological standpoint keep going to the gym and keep that happen, and find other things that they're excited to work on besides just something aesthetic? Because the aesthetic stuff takes a long time too. So if you can have other things that you can see or feel progress in along the way, it's going to make it, again, so much more sustainable.
Yeah. And I think that is a fair point too. And I think that's why a lot of people end up dropping off too, is they start with aesthetic goals, but then those aesthetic goals take months, years, decades, depending on what you're
from like a biological standpoint, it takes 8 weeks to build muscle. 8 weeks of consistent. So that's then 2 to ideally 3 times of hitting a muscle group over and over with enough load to actually build muscle. 8 weeks. Like, so we need other things for people to focus on.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. I just got really excited about that.
Oh, you're good. No, I think you're exactly right. I think that's the thing, right? Is like, and I get it. Like I said, I've definitely been there. Like I remember like, and in postpartum, and I've told this story before, but like there was a photo of myself. There's no way for me to pop it up. I wish there was, but I have a photo of myself from my son's first Thanksgiving, which was mid-pandemic. It was also right before I got COVID too. Like literally like a day after. And like, I remember looking at myself and just being like, who is that? Like this just like piece of like I didn't even recognize the person I was seeing in the photo. Like there have been times before where I was like, oh, like I don't really want to show my body, so I'll like show from here up. But like I looked at that woman and I didn't recognize her at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of that is like a motherhood thing, and that's a whole other conversation that we could get into, but we certainly don't need to. And I know a lot of other women experience that too, but I remember thinking like, I need my body back. That was the first thing that I thought, but that's not where I ended up. And that's certainly
Yep.
not where I am now. But if you'd have talked to me 4 years ago, I would have told you that I'm like lifting these weights so that I can look like I did, like, you know, not really even in high school, because I really wasn't in that good of shape in high school. Like I cheered in high school, but like this is probably the most fit I've ever been like in my entire life, in my 30s, because I've
Yep.
just cared more about it, you know? Um, and it's like kids and teens, like they just show up, they do things that are fun for them, right? So,
Yeah.
which is a
And I
good thing.
think, yeah. And that's such like how do we bring the fun into our movement as adults? Because
Yeah.
so much of like life is so heavy and life isn't always fun. So like, let's make the stuff that maybe does not feel great, but we know we should be doing it because not everyone likes strength training. Like, how do we bring in some fun there? Like, where's the fun stuff? So I think
Yeah.
fun is a big missing piece of the puzzle when people utilize movement as punishment a lot of times.
Yeah. It's the you're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy about it. Is that Harry Potter?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy about it.
Yep.
Sometimes that's how I feel walking into the weight room. But like it's really
Same.
interesting because to go from being the person who like the idea of like I don't want to say pain because it's not really like pain in the weight room, but like to be like intimidated by like pushing my body. And now like I feel like that's like a challenge. And I'm like, oh yeah, like new weights, new reps, like, you know, new exercises. Oh, I really felt that. You know what I mean? Like there
Yep.
was a time in my life when I would have been like, no, thank you. That's a hard pass. Absolutely not.
Oh yeah,
So
totally.
sweat, no, thank you. You can put
Yeah.
that over there, please. No, thank you.
I think what
Um,
people don't realize too is like it's not even if you love it. Like I do this for a living. I love going to the gym. I don't always want to go.
mhm.
It like I have to do my full body workout after my last client today on my last day of work of 2025. Do I want to go load up a trap bar? Absolutely not. Am I going to do it anyway? Yeah, because
Guess
it's in
what?
my schedule and I have the tools in my toolbox to understand how to make myself do it. And I'm going to put on my really nasty 2000s millennial playlist and listen to some stuff that I would have, grinded in and twerked into in a high school cafeteria when I was younger. Like that's my motivation right there, right? So it's
Yeah.
like figuring out how to get people to show up when they don't want to either.
Yeah. And that I think is the biggest, like, from my perspective, I think for really change in all forms and fashions, when I even think about like in my office, like the barrier for change for most people is the fact that like our brains are designed for survival, not to thrive. And so for most people,
Mm,
I mean, realistically, biologically speaking, right? Like we will choose the thing that we know and understand, even if it's worse than what would be a change or something new or different. And so I think if you can understand that, like if people can understand going in, like, oh, that's why it feels weird, is because my body wants me to survive. It doesn't want me to thrive, right? It just wants me to like get
yeah.
through the day. Whereas, oh, okay, I'm striving for more and my body's pushing back because it's different, not because it's bad, but because it's different.
Ooh, I like that.
So
Yeah, that's great.
I didn't know you were going to get therapy nerd today, did you?
Oh, I love it. I honestly, in this last year, I've been diving so much more into like the psychological component of coaching. Um, so it's throw all the little tips and tricks my way. I'm more than happy to
Listen, girl,
digest
you
them.
have my email. You can email me anytime. Really and truly.
Perfect.
I'm like I said, I'm loving these live chats because it's giving me the opportunity to connect with other people in the community. And I just think that's so much fun. Like I think all of us do this regardless of like how we started because we want to help people and we have like different ways of doing it. Like Devin, specifically makes workout videos. You kind of have a mixed bag. I noticed you do some workouts, but yours are kind of more talking head videos,
Hmm.
more like the kind of content that I create. And then Millionaire Hoy also does more like fitness content. So like, but we all have the same purpose in mind is we want to get people moving more. We want people to feel good about their bodies and like love what they're doing. And so I like getting us all together. because I think it's fun.
Yeah.
So,
You get to like
um,
pick people's brains, learn,
right?
learn from everybody around you.
Yeah, because you guys know a ton of stuff. So I would love to pick any of your brains about. I think the thing for me that's most fascinating, this is something Devin and I talked about, was like the setup for all of these different like people who do programs from home, like people like Devin who do whole programs on YouTube. Like, how do you set up for that? How many videos do you play? You know what I mean? Because like from a content creator standpoint, I'm like, logistics of that. Like, how do you work that out from a time standpoint? You know what I mean? So like I have a
Oh
thousand
yeah.
questions. Uh, but all right, let's see what else I got here. So what are some of your favorite creators? This brings me to sort of this is a good segue. Some of your favorite creators on the platform.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I don't watch a lot of fitness content online.
Hmm.
If I oh, you know who I do really like? I really like Meg Squats. And she
Mm,
took a break from long form content for a bit. So I was actually really excited earlier this year when she started making YouTube videos again. But I think she has just a very similar mindset to me and
mhm.
approach to me. Even though she comes more from like a competitive powerlifting and like bodybuilding background. So
Right.
different entry points into movement, but very similar approaches. I do follow I follow like a lot of people who like are into fitness but aren't like fitness coaches. But I
Mhm.
also find that really interesting because I feel like it's just another touch point of like what are the people doing? Like what's everyone doing
Mhm.
out there? What are the vibes out in the
Yeah.
everyday in the muggle world?
Right.
But yeah, I really don't watch a lot of fitness content.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really blame you. I don't really either from a like I don't watch a lot of the content like you or I make, which is partly why I didn't really watch much of your content.
Yeah.
Partly because I always worried that I'm accidentally going to like steal someone's idea or like steal, you know what I mean? Like my fear is that if I watch too much of it, it's going to like sink in. I'm accidentally going to like make someone else's video and not know it. And I would feel terrible about that. Like
Yeah.
I really don't think there's no new idea on YouTube as far as I'm concerned. Like
No.
I don't really like if somebody were to like copy a style of video for me today, I'd be like, okay, whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's, like what do
Yeah.
you expect? You know what I mean? But I know people do feel like certain types of way about that, but I would never want to like accidentally copy somebody or like, replicate, you know what I mean? So that's
Yeah, absolutely.
partly why I don't, but I do, as you've probably figured out, watch a lot of like YouTube workouts. And so that's kind of what my channel has largely pivoted to. I'd love to talk more about mindset, but what I'm finding is that people just don't care. And they should care because it's probably the most crucial piece of
Yep.
the puzzle that people are missing. But I also think there's a piece of mindset that you kind of need somebody like a personal coach to talk you through your specific stuff.
Yeah.
And I think there's a piece of that too that makes it harder to connect the mindset stuff. So
Yeah.
but anyway, so that's kind of how I ended up this like trainer rabbit hole of like reviewing workouts, which I do enjoy. I find it fun and entertaining. I still don't know why people care what I think, but um, it's one of
People
those
love
things
a
where
workout review. They love
they do.
like people eat it up. I used to do a ton of those. And I ended up just like pivoting away from it
Mhm.
because I don't know. I didn't I think just like as I grew as a coach, I was like honestly part of me was like this is really bad karma. Like if I say
Mhm.
something about
Right,
someone else's stuff that's
right,
negative, I'm like,
right,
oh, this is gonna bite me in the ass one day.
right.
But yeah, I just kind of like I respect people who can continue to make that content. It started making like giving me a lot of anxiety.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, like the way that I'm really trying to, because I've had to be very intentional with it because I do want to be careful because these are people behind the camera, and
Yeah.
I don't know their intentions, right? Like, I want to be very clear that when I am making these like reviews, these are not critiques of these people as people. This is just my experience of their programs. And just because I don't like necessarily the way they train or I don't necessarily agree with the way they market themselves, like, I mean, I make some clickbaity kind of titles because if I don't, nobody will watch the video
Yeah.
because nobody cares. So,
Yeah.
I'm not saying like you shouldn't, but I just want to be clear about who it's for and who it isn't for, or like what it does and what it doesn't do, right? Like I don't want to crap on like yoga. Yoga's great, but yoga and Pilates bodies are not a thing. Like
Yeah.
the bodies people think they want are not going to come from yoga and Pilates. That doesn't mean there's not a place for yoga and Pilates. It just means don't go into yoga and Pilates thinking you're going to build a body that was built with strength training that they didn't show you.
Yep.
You know?
100%.
And so it is a delicate balance. And I try to be like super careful because like I said, I would never want to hurt somebody's feelings. And people have found my videos. That's actually how Devin found me, is because I made a video about her. And now we're friends. And if I had said nasty things, which I don't know that I could say a nasty thing about Devin. I don't think that exists. But, my point being is you can't build friendships and relationships, so it's a delicate balance, right?
100%. Yeah.
Chad Gentleman Real Estate Land. Hi, good to see you. Flamingo, I can't read this. Flamingo Row. It's good to see you. Thank you guys for being here. Misinformation is so hurtful in fitness. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think again, it's one of those things where like there's so much noise that it makes it really hard. And I found a way to kind of like weed through my own feed of like, if I feel like the things that I'm reading and seeing are misinformation, now that I know things, I can weed it out and be like, oh, that's, like that,
Yep.
that's crap. Like, and I can just ignore it. But when you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's very helpful to have channels that aren't just, let me say it this way. Most of the time, misinformation is spread for a profit. So it's very nice to find people who are not just trying to shill things out to make money and are actually trying to educate people and help people choose the best options for them. And we need more of that.
Yes, absolutely. And like, it's like, I've heard you say it too. It's like, get your bag, right? But like, don't do it like at the price of other people, right? Like,
yeah,
if you want to sell stuff, like there are plenty of things I can link, and I sometimes do. I don't think anybody buys them, which is fine. I don't need them to buy them. But like I link stuff I use all the time. Like that's great and dandy. And I was teasing my husband. I was like, I keep coming on the lives with the AWs. I'm like, this would be a great sponsorship.
Get a brand deal. Yes.
This would be a great sponsorship for me because I'm literally always on it. But this is not sponsored by A&W Root Beer, unfortunately. But
get your bag.
If you're
Let's
watching,
get it.
Call me.
Yes.
Call me. But I tease because I literally, these are in like all my videos because I'm like always drinking them or water just because it's like my preference.
It's like when people do like post a workout video on like Instagram and like there's like a Celsius in the corner the whole time,
right?
Because it's like a brand deal. That's you with your root beer.
It should be. I wish.
Yes.
Call me A&W. Call me. I can't. Oh, too funny. All right. So let's have a little fun fitness this or that. And then, of course, if you're in the live chat and you want to participate too, I have like 30 questions here. We're not going to do 30, I promise. All right. 30-minute workout or 60-minute workout?
Ooh, 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I rarely spend 60 minutes in the gym. Most of my workouts are like 40 minutes in and out from movement prep to last lift. I got time. I don't have time. I got places to be,
I'm a 30 to 45 minute too. That's like my sweet spot. I will do an hour. Like I said, Monday's my birthday. And so I do what I consider the hardest workout I've ever done in my entire life, which is one of the epic programs from Caroline. It's one of her videos. Yeah. It's an hour long and it will be a slaughter, and that will be my birthday slaughter. Yeah. But most of the time it's like 45 minutes. Devin also says 30 to 45 minutes is ideal for her.
Yeah. That's the sweet spot, I feel like, for a lot of people.
Yeah. But like, I remember vividly, like there were times when I would go and I would be in the gym for hours. I'm like, what was I doing in the gym for so many hours?
I think Chad has a good idea. They're texting.
Yes, these are facts. And somebody did give me some feedback, which is fair, that like, depending on your goals, you may need more rest in between sets, which would maybe potentially make your workout run longer. Like I know my husband takes like longer rests in between sets because he has different muscle goals. Yeah. But yeah, like, I don't know. I do feel like I see a lot more people like putzing around, not working out, but to each their own.
Yeah. Devin had a question about, does that include warm up and cool down? I don't do a cool down because I live in New York, so I walk to and from the gym. So like that's my cool down. That does include warm up. I'm like a 2 to 3 exercises for warm up type of girl though. Like I pick 2 things that hit a lot of things right off the bat, and then I'm right into my big lift. So yeah.
I'm kind of the same way. And occasionally I'll do like a warm up set where like I might like if we're doing like RDLs, let's say, like
Exactly. Yeah.
I might start with like a lower weight set and before I push my weight up. But like generally speaking, I'm kind of that way too. So
Yeah. 100%.
I just like it that way. Full body or body part splits.
Full body. Uh, yeah, I think again, for I don't come from like a bodybuilding background.
Mhm.
Sometimes people like thinking more in muscle groups. I always think more in movement patterns. So like squat, hinge, push, pull, rotate. That's going to be my bread and butter. And I just think for general population, it translates over better into like supporting your body for daily life. But if you're somebody who's really into like the 6 day muscle group split, you go for it if that's what you like.
Yeah. I actually prefer like a full body just from like a workout stand. Like if I'm choosing a workout, I'm gonna pick a full body just because I
Yeah,
like the way that it feels. You know what I mean? Like to be able to like kind of bounce back and forth between like different movements in the body. I just like the way that feels.
yeah.
Um,
You can
but
typically
I
cut
see the
down on rest
value.
time too, because like you
Sure.
can do a lot with supersets. So like you can
Mhm.
get that workout in and out nice and quick.
Yeah, I do love a superset. That's my
Oh, same.
jam. If I'm
Yeah.
choosing a workout, it's superset format. It's the
Yeah.
right amount of unaliving. But dumbbells or body weight, which I think I already know the answer to this one.
Oh, dumbbells. Body,
All
I
day,
don't
every
know.
day.
Something about body weight, unless it's like, no, even that, like, even pull ups and push ups. I don't know, body weight, like, there's nothing to distract me. And I just am
Mm,
like, it's like awful for me. Like, I
mm,
don't know. Like, at least with dumbbells, I'm like, cool, I get to focus on these. With body weight, I'm like, me versus me. This sucks.
mm. Yeah. I feel like for me, like I feel like when I'm doing it without dumbbells, like I have to be better at it, which sounds a little counterintuitive, but like to get it right, you know, what I mean? Like I have to be better at it.
Yeah.
And so like I do find, although I do like push-ups, but I mostly like push-ups because in the physical fitness challenge in high school, I beat a guy on the football team by doing more push-ups than him. And so like to
Love
this
that.
day, like I have, you know what I mean? Like there's like a special place in my heart for like,
Yeah.
oh,
I'd
as
make a
terrible as that
plaque.
sounds. Right?
I make a plaque and put it on my wall. I'd be like, I beat Joe Schmo in 6th grade in the push-ups. Proof.
Uh, I mean, listen, I'm not above it. I'm not above it. I'm really not. All right, let's see. Oh, nutrition and recovery. Okay, protein shake or whole food protein after workout.
Like me personally, or like,
It's a this or that, so your judgment call.
oh, I don't know. Honestly, it really depends on the day. I think most of what the time I'm gonna choose just like a meal afterwards.
Mhm.
I don't do a lot of protein shakes, but if we're just talking like what I think is better, whatever one you actually do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eat
Mhm.
protein however you want to get it in.
Right. And I think that's like again one of those places where like people want to get like picky and nuanced and be like, oh, well, protein shakes are terrible for you. Well, I'm sure there are some that are terrible for you, but let me tell you what, the Nutter Butter protein in yogurt slaps, and I will not stop.
Yeah. I'm also like, you know what's even more terrible for you? Not eating enough protein. So I don't really
Right.
care how you get it in.
Right. Figure out how to get more protein in. For me, that means typically like at least a protein shake a day because I'm busy and I'm not a
Yeah,
great cook. So, you know,
that's great.
but I do like a good protein shake. But
Yeah.
I also like whole food protein. So, you know, it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
You see where my dilemma was. It's like
Yeah,
good options for both. But yeah.
exactly. Meal prep or easy repeat meals.
Oh, I'm more of the easy repeat meals type of girl. I do a little
Mhm,
bit of light prep on like Sundays, but I'm not like let's put everything in Tupperware and just reheat it. I'm more of
mhm,
like an ingredient prep, so I can just like grab things and make like a bunch of different stuff real quick. But
mhm.
yeah, but I could eat the same thing every day and be fine. My husband's the we need to have something different all the time type of person.
Yeah, I could if it's easy, like I don't have bandwidth most of the time to like come up with new stuff. So like for me, it's like, okay, if this is what's working, I'm gonna stick with it. And then if I get bored, I like switch out the kind of protein powder or switch the fruit that goes with it. Like I just
Yup.
modify it rather than like change it. Devin also agrees, easy
Yeah.
repeat. Chad says sometimes I do quick vegan protein shake or light whey protein when I'm in a rush. Yeah.
No.
So but Yeah, it's one of those things where, again, it's what can you make work for you? Because we make this protein taco pasta that we eat like literally every week that is meal
Ooh.
prepped, but then the rest of the week is not meal prepped. It's just
Yeah.
like kind of more grab and go, easy repeat meals. So it's
Yep.
like a mixed bag, but it's nice to have it though. When like we get back from karate, we don't have to worry like, what are we going to make? We just reheat the protein taco pasta that we made on Sunday and we're good to go.
Yep.
But it's, I think, very much to like a life season thing of like, what do you have bandwidth and what do you have time for? Like if you're working full time all day, every day, maybe it's better for you to meal prep all week, like for the week, so you don't have to think about it when you get home at like 8:30 at night.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody who has the bandwidth for that, or maybe you like to cook, which I don't understand that at all, but my husband likes to cook. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. But if you're one of those people who likes to cook, then maybe you want more variety in your food because you like to cook.
Yeah.
Again, not something I can understand, but it is what it is, right? Um, let's see. I picked way too many questions. Like it's
Oh, that's
laughable how
fine.
many.
This is great.
It's laughable how many there are. All right. It's the same thing. What was I thinking? Okay. Sore the next day or feeling strong during a workout?
Feeling strong during a workout. I think being sore is overrated.
I agree. No, that's not a hot take around here. It might be a hot take, but it's not a hot take around here. I completely agree. Like, I do think like sometimes you will be sore,
Yeah.
but like I do think people misrepresent that as like something that it's not.
Yeah. I think people equate being sore as the sign of a good workout, or an
Hmm.
effective workout, when really all sore is either you did a new stimulus and your body's not used to it, or you did way too much volume.
Right.
And so you see a lot of soreness with people who, especially like when I was still working in group fitness, you saw people really sore all the time because they're doing something brand new every single time. So like
Mhm.
what I tell my clients a lot of times, we usually work in 4-week blocks. Week one, you're probably going to be sore the next day. We don't want to be so sore that we're hobbling around. That's a sign that the volume was too high. We need to pull back a little bit. By week four, you should have pretty minimal soreness, in terms of how you're feeling the next day or the next 2 days after, because we don't like we don't want to be like debilitated. You don't want it to
Right.
impact your daily life. You don't want to be able to not pick up your kids because
Right.
you went too heavy on back squats for the fourth week in a row.
Right. Yeah. Devin said this pregnancy has made it hard for my muscles to recover, and I'm left more sore than I want to be. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, she wants to know your thoughts on
Ooh.
creatine during pregnancy to help with recovery. I have no thoughts on this stuff.
Unfortunately, Devin, there's like little to no research on creatine with pregnant people. So a lot of the recommendation is just like check with your doctor. Luckily, though, with non-pregnant demographics, there have literally been shown to be like absolutely zero negative side effects from taking creatine. Obviously, that being said, you're growing a small human, so just tread with caution and check with your doctor. But yeah, I think those are my thoughts.
Fair
They
enough.
haven't
Yeah.
done enough studies on women, unfortunately.
Yeah. I need to be better about
Shocking.
my creatine. I started it and then like I even bought the creatine gummies to like make it easy on myself and I still don't take them. So I need to like find a way to like work it into my routine. And it's
Yeah.
just
Are you a coffee person
I
in the
am, yeah.
morning? Honestly, what's been working for me with consistency, because I was doing it like post workout, but then like I don't lift every day, so then I was forgetting. I put in my coffee in the morning,
Mm,
and as long as your coffee isn't like third-degree burn hot, it's not going to break it down, and it's totally
okay.
fine. So that's been helping. I have an unflavored creatine too, so that also helps. But yeah, highly recommend.
All right, I'll give that a go, see if that helps. Cause I tried and I know because there's been like some weird stuff about like some of the gummies like not even really having the amounts they say they have in them or like the absorption issues, I guess, really more what it
Yeah,
boils down to. So like I'm like, well, do I want to keep taking those? Those are expensive. Like, the
yeah,
thousand questions
yeah,
in your brain.
yeah.
Uh, like, do you do this or do that? The mental juggle.
Hmm.
Um, before and after photos or non-scale wins.
Non-scale wins. Yeah. But I'm also, I think for me,
Yeah. Did I lose you?
okay, sorry. Somehow my sister was able to call me even though I'm on Do Not Disturb.
It's okay. That happened to me last time. Don't feel bad.
Great. I knew she was going to try and call me too. Okay. So yeah, I think before and after pictures are absolutely fine if you want to use them for yourself, and I think it's a great way to track non-scale wins,
Mhm.
especially if you have a like body composition or weight loss goal. I don't use before and after pictures in any of selling my services.
Mm.
I think that it can dive into the realm of being very misleading and predatory with how you're using those. So yeah, I just tend to stay away from them from a business standpoint. But I think personally, if you want to use them for yourself, hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, one of the challenges, and all of my before and after photos are myself because it's me and I'm the test subject.
Yeah.
But like I think one of the I like them because I notice for myself personally, like when I don't take photos, I don't notice a difference because I've been looking at myself in the mirror. So I don't
Yeah.
see that there's any change when there actually is, especially when I was like first starting. Like I felt like I was looking exactly the same. But then when I look at my photos, I'm like, oh, wait, there is definitely a difference there that I missed because like I was looking at myself every day. So I missed the like nuance in it. But I can certainly see the like appropriateness of like a before and after in selling a product because everybody's bodies are different, right? Like
Yeah.
and how you're going to look compared to how somebody else is going to look doing the same program are like they're not the same. So
100%. Yeah. I just, before and after photos are a tool, and I don't think that they're an appropriate tool to market services
mm,
most of the time. Yeah, and that's my take. But I think they're a great tool for a lot of people. And I think it's like, especially if someone does have like a weight loss goal or a fat loss goal or whatever, having other checkpoints outside the scale is really, really important. But then, like we talked
mm,
about earlier, you know, a weight loss goal or a body recomposition goal, like aesthetic goals take a long time. So what
mm.
are other non-scale wins that you have in your like back pocket? Like, did you hit a PR on a lift? Did you finally hit full range of motion, tapping your knee to the floor in a reverse lunge? Like having other skill based goals, I think is another great way to just like keep your consistency and your excitement up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and Chad brings up a good point about like the scale being like complicated because it really is. Like there's so much that goes into the number on the scale and we have smart scales now which are can be helpful but then can also kind of be overwhelming. It really just kind of depends on the person that you are,
Yeah.
right? So that's kind of loaded too, right? And then like when you think about body recomps altogether, right? Like is the scale even going to change for you if you're just looking at a single number? Maybe not, right? So
Yeah,
it's loaded, right?
for sure.
Which I think people kind of underestimate. Let's see anything else in the chat. Chad
Ooh,
was
I
asking
like
about the gummies.
that. It's about reassessing what success looks like.
Mm,
I like that.
that's true.
Chad,
Yeah.
that's good shit.
I like it. I approve. Alexandria stamp of approval. Okay, let's see what else I got. All right, let's play which kind of exercise. Now, this is personal preference or
Okay.
for like muscle growth, depending on how you want to put it. I don't really care. Bulgarian split squat or step up.
Ooh, split Bulgarians. I'm
Yeah,
I'm a psycho and I love every split squat that there ever was.
me
I'm
too.
just I'm
I saw
disgusting. I
somebody.
love them.
I like them too. I don't really get it. I saw somebody was doing like these like ballerina split squats where they're like elevated on one leg and then it's like not really. I was very confused and I kind of want to try it, but I'm like, I don't know what this is doing. Like, is there research on this or is this just some crap TikTok made up? I don't know,
Oh yeah, I didn't ever seen
but
that. Send it to me.
all right, I will see if I can locate what I did with it. I think I sent it to my husband because I was like, "What is this lunacy? Like, is this a thing?" Because he's also big into like the research and stuff like that on this kind of stuff too. Like, we nerd
Yeah,
out about this all the time. Even though neither of us are personal trainers, um, RDLs or a hip thrust.
RDLs.
Mm,
Yeah. From an enjoyment standpoint, you're shorter, so you get it. I can never
mm,
find a bench the right height for hip thrust. It takes fucking forever to set that thing up. By the time I even have my working weight on there, I've spent 20 minutes setting this thing up.
mm,
Also, if we're thinking from a growth standpoint, since we want to dive into that really quickly. Hip thrusts are great for my muscle connection. You are loading the glutes though in the shortened position, which is not bad, but it is not going to elicit as much growth as if you're loading it more in the lengthened position. So an RDL works the glutes in more of that lengthened contraction of eccentric. So even if you're just thinking like best bang for my buck, if your goal is glute growth, say that 5 times fast.
I know, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, so RDLs are just going to be like better bang for your buck. But if you like hip thrusts, or you have access to like a hip thrust machine where it's all set up for you and you want that mind muscle connection, I'm not saying it doesn't grow your glutes, but personally, I'm always going to go RDL.
Devin seems to agree with us on the Bulgarians and the RDLs. So
yeah,
it's funny. So I have the booty sprout. That was a Mother's Day gift.
yeah,
I know.
How do you like it?
I love it. I really and
Good.
truly do. It is literally, especially because I almost exclusively work out at home. I really do love it. And like people ask me about it all the time. They're like, "Do you like it?" I'm like, "I really do." Like it's about $130, I think. But like I really do love it. It's really not too bad. And I feel like if you're like you said, the person who wants to do it, it's way more convenient than like trying to load up other ways of like doing a hip thrust. So yeah, I love it. I really do. So if clients are ever looking to do something at home, I definitely recommend it as a piece of equipment.
Oh, perfect. That's helpful.
All right, let's see. Let's move on to quads versus glutes. Let's go sissy squat or goblet squat. Very different kinds of
squats. From an enjoyment standpoint, goblet squat. If I want to fuck up my quads, sissy squat.
I hate them too. I'm like really trying to figure out how to like them, but I feel like I'm gonna fall over every time I do it. So I'm like,
I feel like my soul is like leaving my body.
God, it kind of looks like it, doesn't it? Like,
yeah. Chad had a question. Yeah, you can do them on the same day. Honestly, hip thrusts are great because after I just shit on them. Hip thrusts are great because we're loading more of that shortened position, that concentric. They actually don't generate a ton of fatigue in terms of like muscle soreness. So you can totally do them on the same day. I would even say like getting a little bit deeper in there, like maybe make one of them single leg, one of them bilateral. So I love a single leg hip thrust because you can get like one dumbbell on there and you're going to get a really heavy stimulus, and then like a bilateral deadlift or vice versa, single leg deadlift, bilateral hip thrust. But yeah, you can do them on the same day.
Yep. Devin agrees with the goblet squat. Yeah. I mean, in a perfect world, I'm probably not doing either one of those. If I'm being honest, in a perfect world. Let's go upper body. Bent over row or seated row?
Like a barbell bench over row?
Sure. You can interpret these questions however you like.
Cool. Seated row. I like a single on like bench supported row. I like the support. You know what I mean? Like I hate just like hanging out in a hinge in space. So I'm going to go seated row.
Yeah. So Devin, your message got held because you typed bent over and I'm cackling. I'm like trying to figure out if it'll let me show it. But
I see it now. I see it.
I didn't hold your comment, but YouTube did. And I'm dying. Okay. Hope your kids aren't watching, Devin. Let's see. Let's do one more for good measure, and then I will let you go. All right. Plank or dead bugs?
Ooh, I like a plank. Yeah, I like both, but yeah, a plank. I think you're just I'm going to get more bang for my buck there in terms of just like, now we get a little shoulder, we get, a little bit more of that like anti-extension in the core. So yeah.
I hate all abs. I'll just say it. I hate them all. I hate them all. Probably because I'm bad at them.
Devin said. Depends on my season of life. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yes. That. Yeah. Well, and especially like in postpartum and stuff, like there's like a lot of like do's and don'ts around like abdominal strength and stuff like that, especially early postpartum too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, having all that extra, gravity and, your insides pushing down on, where your whole body had to expand to grow a human. Yeah. It's a little harder after. Makes sense.
I can imagine so. Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Well, I have had the most lovely time, and I'd love to have you back if you ever want to come join me again. But thank you for your time today, and thank you for everybody who came live, and anybody watching back on the replay. I hope you're enjoying this little chat we had too. So I've had a blast. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for thinking of me. I had so much fun. I would definitely come back.
Awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Well, if you guys haven't already, go head on over to her YouTube channel and give her a watch. Probably subscribe. I would recommend it. And otherwise, we will catch you guys later. Bye.
Amazing. Thank you.